What's going on, everybody? It's Wednesday night again, and here we are with Squadron Live. My name is Brandon Lowe, and I'm very happy to have you with me tonight. Um, Been another long week for me, but let's jump right in and say hello to everybody. I like how everybody has, or many of you anyway, have started chatting about 8 o'clock, about an hour before the show goes. And Lawn Care Novice was here first, so good to see you tonight, buddy. And Joseph is here, and the World War II aircraft kits. I saw your question, and hopefully somebody else has got some good answers for you on kits that have the correct engine that you're wanting. And if you can't find the engine you want, there's a lot of 3D printed aftermarket engines. So if you need a specific engine for an aircraft, shouldn't be a problem for you. And as you may have seen, I chimed in a little early tonight too and created a topic for us for tonight. And we'll just see how this goes. We'll talk a little bit about some museums. And considering how many museums are all over the country, I figured why not start with Georgia, where I am, a few of them that I'm familiar with, and just kind of go through them real quick. If you're like me, you probably don't know about all of the museums around. And if you ever do any traveling down this way in Georgia, one of these might be right along your travel plans, and it's worth the stop. I know that when I go, whether I'm going to the Nationals, which takes me all over the country each year, or other trips, vacations, and whatnot, I love stopping at museums and battlefields or whatever the case may be. But if you don't know about them, you don't know to stop, right? So we'll look at a few of those tonight, and we'll try to do other states down the road. It'll be an interesting topic to carry on from time to time. Good to see you tonight, Tom, from the very many villages of the White Sands down there in Florida. Good to see you. And Tom, so if anybody saw his comment here, he's talking about the Academy 48 scale Warthog kit that came out and the landing gear on it. I didn't realize this. He brought it to my attention, but apparently it's a thing with a lot of these kits. So, uh, and I don't have the picture, Tom. So forgive me for that. But anyway, one of the landing gear, the right in the middle of it, it's like the mold got shifted. So instead of it being a straight rod, it's broken and shifted. It's not the end of the world, but it's close. If I was when I build mine, I was thinking about getting some aftermarket landing gear anyway. I'll definitely be doing that if my kit has that problem, but it's something you might want to check into if you have that kit. Uh, it can be fixed, but aftermarket landing gear might be an easier option for you. Which, by the way, once we get settled in our new place, we've got a lot of landing gear that we're planning on getting, a couple brands that we don't have yet that we'll have room for. So I guess I'll be looking for a company that's got a Warthog landing gear to get in here first, right? Let's see. Good to see you tonight, Joseph. Jason. Let's see. There's Tom again talking about Florida museums. Yeah, there's a lot of them down there every year when we go to Fort Walton Beach. We go to the museum down there. It's a lot of fun. So we'll have to do a show one night with the Florida museums for sure, because you guys got a lot down there to look at. Good to see you tonight, David. Looks like you were able to take advantage of our moving sale. I was trying to figure out what should we put on sale, and I never know. But looks like I picked some good things this time, because you and a lot of other guys really took advantage of that, and we appreciate it. That lightens the load that we will be moving next week, and the load is going to be plenty big enough. And the moving trucks, we're going to have this little contest to see who can guess how many 53-foot or 52, whatever they are, foot semi trucks it takes to move everything. Well, the trucks, we've got a few over there already, but the big move starts next week, Tuesday, actually. So we'll be counting, and everybody will get a guess, and we'll figure out how to make it fun. And Jason's got to get his B-17 reference book. Oh yeah, it's this. I assume that you're talking about the Edward 48 scale kit, the bloody hundredth kit. That's that's going to be probably the kit of the year for us. Many years ago, Squadron used to do the Squadron flyers, and each year, one of the issues they would have the kit of the year. And I don't know back then what criteria a kit had to meet to be on their cover of the flyer to be called the kit of the year. Chances are it was how many of them they sold, if I just had to guess. And this Bloody Hundredth kit, it will definitely be up in the top few kits that'll potentially make that mark for us this year. So it's really shaping up to be an awesome kit. If you haven't pre-ordered it yet, make sure to pre-order it from us tonight, because tomorrow, June 20th, is the cutoff for pre-orders if you want to get the additional 4 decals that the initial special edition is going to include. That does not mean we're going to stop taking pre-orders tomorrow. What that means is Edward is going to stop taking pre-orders tomorrow. So we've told them how many we want, a preliminary number, but we have until tomorrow to finalize. We can up that number if we need more, if we think we need more, and we might, I don't know. But after tomorrow, the number we give them, that's all we're getting. So we will continue taking pre-sales for them, but as soon as the last one is gone, we'll cut it off, and that's it. Because the 7 decals that are included with the standard kit, those are cool, but for the same price, why not get the extra 4 decals that's going to be included as well? So as long as you get a pre-order in before we cut the pre-orders off, you're good to go. But it's going to be a really cool kit. I'm excited about it, and I hope you are too. Let's see. Greg's here. Good to see you tonight. And Rex and TD's here from Ohio. Michael is with us tonight. Rusty, looks like you got some goodies on the sale as well. Yeah, and I apologize, guys, if you've ordered from our sale this week. If it's not shipped, usually we get things shipped out within 24 hours of the time you place the order. That's unfortunately just hasn't been able to happen this week. Uh, the the sale over the weekend really kind of log jammed us, if you will, and we are working as hard as we can to get those orders freed up, and hopefully uh, tomorrow and maybe Friday we'll have everything cleared up. So I appreciate your patience while we take a couple extra days than what it would normally take us to get these orders shipped out. So just throwing that out there. Let's see. Hey Wes, good to see you tonight. And Ed Groon's here with us. Good to see you, Mark. Howdy to you as well. And Miami's back with us. Missed you the last couple of weeks, buddy, but good to see you again tonight. And Ken is here. And Bill is here from Virginia. And there's my dad, Russ. He's with us tonight. And Scott's here. What's up to you too, buddy? And Scott, talking about this B-17 again, we'll probably hit on this a lot tonight. But it is going to be to us in August. They are, I don't know exactly when in August, but it's part of their August releases. So that's when we can all expect that. Good to see you tonight, Franco's Trains. Let's see, in Miami, yes, the sprue cutters, actually, they're done, and they are headed this way. And because we are in the middle of moving, I told them to ship them to my house. So I'm looking for the international FedEx guy any day now. So I don't know, fingers crossed, I'll have them by next Wednesday night and I can show them to you. But just the way things go, it'll probably be the week after. But either way, they are on their way to us, and I am expecting them anytime. Very excited to see them, very excited to show them to you and get them put up on the website. Hello, Recon Models, Vaughn. Good to see you tonight. Michael checking in from Iowa. And Scott, yes, it's Wednesday already. It's kind of nuts. I feel like I was sitting here just yesterday. This week's been a blur for me. So let's see. Party time indeed, Frank. Good to see you tonight, Charles. Hello, Bill. Good to see you. Let's see. Good to see you, Monty. And Todd is with us tonight. And Bill is going to order again tomorrow. Good deal. Get that thing finished up for Nationals. Good to see you right up the road from us. And TJ's here tonight. And Ken. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Yeah, if you're talking about the kits behind me, I just got I'm moving everything obviously in, and we've been going through moving boxes, and I finally got all, or at least the majority. I'm sure there's a couple hiding somewhere of the boxes of my stash in, and I've got them all piled up back here behind me. And I just couldn't stand to walk in and look at cardboard boxes. So I opened up a box and I kind of decorated. I hid the cardboard box stash with a few kits. I think I got a, what do I got? A B-29, a B-36. I got the 35th scale Border Models U-boat. I got the good old 72 scale U-boat from Revell back there. I've got a B-25. I've got a 6th scale Filmies Girls kit back there, a Razor Crest, and an H-class battleship. You know, that 72 scale U-boat that I've got back there, the Revell kit, it's that one right there. That's like a really cool kit to me. And the interesting thing about that, I've actually started that kit. Surprised. So, but I'm not building it like the box. I'm not building the standard version. I've got, do you remember Special Hobby has a brand called Special Navy? Many years ago, they did a Type D mine layer conversion set for that kit, and that's what I've been working on with that. So it's really cool, but it takes a while because you've got to cut the hole, and it actually adds about a, I don't know, maybe 10 inches or so, maybe a foot worth more hole, because that mine layer, they didn't just put it in there, they actually extended it. So it's a longer submarine. And I found, we used to carry these years ago at Free Time Hobbies, a company called RC Subs, and I really hope that we get to carry them again soon after we get moved in to the new place and have some more space maybe. But they make some really nice photo etch sets for all these large scale submarines. Well, they actually made a big photo etch set for the mine layer version of that replaces the entire deck, but it's made with the Special Hobby conversion set in mind. So it's really cool. I got all sorts of goodies going into that kit, and maybe one day I'll actually get it finished. But I think you guys know how that goes. Yeah, I moved all of my models, so I had to pack them up. So I had to actually go into my cabinets and my closet, my drawer, and everything, and get all these. And I was finding things that I forgot I had. So now I've put my hands on them again, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, I want to work on that. I want to finish this. But I'm working on my 1-to-1 scale house right now, and that kind of takes priority over all these little bitty models, I guess. But that's how it goes. Lee, good to see you tonight, buddy. Jason, master machine gun barrels. Are you talking about master models? If you're talking about master models, I already carry those, and I am aware that I am out of the B-17 set and 48 scale, but we have a very large restock of those headed this way. Well, it's not headed this way yet. They are holding it until we have our new warehouse going. We have a lot of things uh, that are on order with these manufacturers. Some manufacturers that we've already been ordering from, like Master, some that we have not ordered from yet that are going to be a surprise to everybody soon. But they're holding them because these overseas companies, when we order them, by the time they get here, we're not going to be in LJ anymore. But the problem is our new warehouse, I've told you, it's being built for us. It's a new building. And in the industrial complex that it's being built in, not only is the building new, but the road that the building is on is new. So they've got a kind of a, I don't know, a main road, if you will, and then all these little fingers that come off of the road. Well, our finger was not there yet. So it's South Cross Lane, as we just found out literally today. And we checked with the U.S. Post Office, I guess, is the ones that have to make that an official address. And we are waiting on them to make that an official address so that our manufacturers overseas can actually ship to that address. Because right now, if they try to ship to that address, they can't, because the mail system says that address is no good. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, but we'll get it sorted out. But those master barrels should be here. And Jason, I'm talking about the B17 because I know that you've got one of those kits. You've already mentioned the book, so I'm figuring that's what you're talking about. But they will be coming this way as soon as the post office makes our address official, which will hopefully be in the next few days. But we'll see. And then the resin to detail parts. I'm sorry, I gotta say I'm not familiar with that one. So shoot me an email sometime with their website. I'd love to check them out because if you like them, I bet I'll like them. I'll have to check it out. And Robert's here from Charlotte. Good to see you tonight. And howdy to you too, Wolf. Let's see. Franco's got the Bloody 100 kit. Oh, and speaking of the Bloody 100, uh, we have Lucky Luckadoo's book coming in. And that one, they have it in a hardbound. I got mine. I showed you. I don't know what I did with it. They got a hardbound version and a softbound, a hardback and a softback version of it, and we're gonna get both. I didn't know which ones you guys would want if you don't have the book yet, but we will have that up on the Squadron website in the next week or two, hopefully. But those will be coming, and that's going to be really cool. I've not had a chance to read that myself, going back to my one-to-one scale house project, but I'm very excited to read that. I want to hear that story for sure. All right, Ed, talking about the topic for tonight already: Tybee Island, the Fort Pulaski, Civil War, Fort Screven, Spanish American War to World War One. All right, that one. Oh yeah, and their lighthouse. I think my dad has been to that one. I don't know if I've been there. That was a long time ago, but let me pull that one up. I've got the websites to all these museums pulled up to show you guys in a few minutes. Um, let's see. I'll add that one to the list, and we'll get that pulled up too, because that's a cool one I did not have on my list. So thank you for mentioning that one, Ed. Let's see. Franco, a paint kit for the Edward B17. That would be an excellent idea, and I will make myself a note because there's actually a Vallejo set that would be very good for that. But we can do one better and make sure that we've got a set that would cover all the different paint schemes that Edward is including with that. And so I'm going to make a note to do that. All right, good idea. And we'll probably do it out of Vallejo because I know they're going to have all the colors that we need. Good evening to you too, Barry. Nice to see you tonight. And Steven's waiting for the A4 Skyhawk to come out. You know, that one is I think it's done. I think they've got it finished at the factory. Either they've got it finished or they're like finishing it up this week. It's very, very close, and it'll be a part of our next shipment that we will have coming this way. So I don't know exactly when they'll be here, but they are headed to us in our next container. Let's see, the seam scrapers, Mark. Those are kind of in the same boat as a lot of other things right now. We're waiting on the new address because, as you can probably imagine, those are made overseas for us, and we're waiting on the official address so we can get more of those in here. But we do know that we are in desperate need of them. It's a very popular item, and we're going to get them back in here as quickly as we can. All right, let's see. HM Hall says the Dawsonville has one, Cartersville has one. And welcome to your hometown of Ringgold. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's see. I got my dad here on my chat helping me find these websites for the museums. So I want to shoot that one over here. See if he can find this one for us so we can look at those. We'll pull all these up in a minute. John is here. Good to see you tonight, buddy. Tom says a group display for the Bloody 100th in Nationals in 2025. That would be pretty awesome. I'm supposed to be a part of the B25 group this year, but I'm probably going to have to back out unless they take almost finished planes. Last week I talked about wanting to get mine done, even if I just hurried up, but I just the clock's ticking and the show is in like 3 weeks, or I have to leave in 3 weeks, and I don't know. I want to get it done, but we'll see. So, whatever the group build is next year, hopefully I can get it done, and the bloody hundredth group build would be very cool. Michael, going through the moving cell, had too much in the cart. I can understand that for sure. It happens. There's a lot of goodies in there that would be good. Let's see. And Todd's got him a shipment headed his way. Well, good deal. Enjoy that when you get it. Special hobby kits are great, Michael. Absolutely. Let's see. All right. Yeah, the Chickamauga battlefield. Yeah, it's right down the road from me. I don't know if I would do it every single day, but when I start driving to the warehouse every day, I can take that route if I choose to. I've done it a couple times so far. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. Jason, let's see. Okay, thank you. I'll take a look at that. Miami, I should buy Hobby Town and transform it like you have a Squadron. I got enough sticks in the fire right now. It's a good store, but it's a good general purpose hobby store. It's got a little bit for everybody. We are a model kit shop. We don't do remote control. We don't do trains and all that. All we do is scale models. So Hobbytown is really good for what it is, but it's more of a general hobby. They got all sorts of stuff for everybody. But when it comes to model kits, that's kind of what we specialize in. So Paul, well, I carry the Revell paint. Says, I don't know. Revell has gone through a lot of uh, changes over the last few years, getting bought and sold, and Revell Monogram and Revell Germany splitting back up and combining and then splitting up and combining it. It's just, I don't know. So I don't have a really good line on their stuff at the moment. I hope that changes in the future. I do know about their paint sets and I've heard that they're pretty good. So it might be something that we can add sometime in the future, but I don't have any line on getting it done really soon. So let's see. Michael, the battleship North Carolina. Yeah, I have driven past that. It was closed when I drove past there, so I've not been able to go on it, but that is a very cool one for sure. Let's see. Oh, cool. Charles says they're restoring a P-61 to flying condition. That would be awesome. Yeah, I saw that. You guys probably know which one it is. Another old World War II plane crashed recently. I saw the headline. I didn't read it yet, but that was too bad. I hate when that kind of stuff happens. But it'll be good to get a P-61 flying for sure. Brandon Porter says he's looking forward to that Border Models Flak 88. Yeah. Every time a new German railroad type subject, flat car, locomotive, whatever it is, every time a new German locomotive or German railroad thing comes out, everybody just starts laughing at me because they all at the shop because they all know I'm going to buy one and I'm never going to build it, or at least that's what they say. I say I'm going to build it, but I'm pretty excited about that too. And I'll tell you, if you're into that kind of thing, one of the other surprise brands that we're going to have very soon, um, it's actually going to be here. I don't know. It's the first thing as soon as the warehouse is open next week. We're waiting on the certificate of occupancy right this very second. But as soon as I get that, we'll get a container in there. And Saber Models is a part of this shipment, and that is a new brand for us. It's not a new brand; it's relatively new in the last few years, but they actually have some really cool German railroad stuff in 35th scale. They got like a tanker. I think they've got a flat car. They probably got a box car. I don't know. They got two or three or four different ones that I'm pretty excited about. They're really nice. I've seen them. But I'm looking forward to having those at Squadron. Looking forward to getting myself a copy of them and adding them to that stash that apparently I'm never going to build. But it's uh, it's really neat stuff, and that border kit's certainly going to be awesome as well. Recon Vaughn used to live on the Circle right by the battlefield. Yeah, that's a pretty cool place. The the, of course we're gonna be out on I-75 now, but one of the places that we originally looked at, that we thought we were gonna move to, it was actually right over there in that area. But because of zoning and things of that nature, it didn't work out. But we like where we're gonna be. But I know the area you're talking about. There's a little museum over there, too, but unfortunately, I guess it's closed right now. They got a little tank sitting over there. Hopefully they hopefully they get that open at some point. Let's see. All right. Well, let's jump over here and check out um, some of these museums real quick. Let's see. I got to figure out how to. I still haven't got my nice setup here at my new house, so I'm running off of one monitor still. I got this. I got this really nice computer, but the only problem is this really nice computer has a really nice graphics card that doesn't work with old monitors. So I got like 50 old monitor. Anybody need an old monitor? You can't give them away. But as things progress and things change, they don't use the same kind of hookup. So I guess a new monitor will be in order very soon. But we will try to do this with one monitor. So one of the, I'll start with this one. Right, where's it at? Yeah, I'm going to start with this one because this museum is, and it's, I guess, I don't know if you would call it a Well, I guess it is. They call it a museum. Uh, this is in the town that I grew up in, or well, right outside of the town that I grew up in. And I grew up in Americus, Georgia, which is down south in Sumter County. If you if you don't know anything about Georgia and towns in South Georgia, you probably know Plains because that's where Jimmy Carter is from. So Sumter County, that's where I was born. That's where I was raised, and right outside of town in Lake Blackshear or at Lake Blackshear, um, there's a little place over there called Veterans State Park. And this is, as a kid, this is back when my dad owned the Caravelle Power Boats Company, and they made real boats, speed boats, ski boats, fishing boats, that kind of thing. And Lake Blackshear is where they would go to test their boats. They, need to test them or build a new one, test it out, whatever, take photos of them, make their brochures. So I was always going over to Lake Blackshear with Dad and his boat company, and this was right there. This is right next to where they would put the boats in. So as a kid, it was really cool to me uh, because you can walk. There's no fences. Well, the B-29 is in a fence, but all the tanks are just sitting out in the open. You could go crawl on them, and it was just really cool as a kid just to go walk over all this stuff. And let's see if I can find any pictures of some of these places. Websites don't really have. Well, dang. I don't know. I won't spend too much time. But the cool thing that I remember was just, like I said, being able to walk up. And then as a kid, I had no idea really what I was looking at. I remember there being a huge airplane. As a kid, I didn't know that that was a B-29. I didn't know the significance of that. But now it's cool seeing this place and seeing all this and realizing what it is now. I know what it is now. And then just, it's just cool to me. So that's a cool place. If you're ever down in South Georgia, this is right off of I-75. Yeah, let's see. If you're going down I-75, if you're headed to Florida for vacation or whatever, you would get off of 75 in the town of Cordele, Georgia. And this is probably, I don't know, 10 minutes off of the interstate, um, somewhere in that ballpark. But if you're headed down, it's really neat. It's worth the trip if you're headed down 75 anyway. So that is a cool one. That is one that I've been to many, many times, probably more times than all the rest of the museums that I've ever been to combined. Now, here is another one that's also in Sumter County. Well, I guess it's Sumter County. So if you are into the Civil War history, this is right outside of Americus, and the name of the museum is also the name of the town. This is the Andersonville National Historic Site. Now, if you know your Civil War history, you probably know that this was not a good place. Um, Very infamous place, actually. But it was a prisoner of war camp. They had so many people there. But it is now, uh, in addition to being that, it's the National Prisoner of War Museum. They've got the National Cemetery there. They continue to bury veterans there today. So, but it's a very interesting place for sure. This one is a little bit further off the beaten path if you're headed down 75. To get here, you would get off in Macon, Georgia, and it's probably about 30 minutes or so off of the interstate in Macon. But if you're into Civil War and seeing the battlefields in different places of that era, this is a very interesting place for sure. Oh, yeah, Dad's over here correcting me. You would get off in Perry, Georgia, on I-75, and be about 30 minutes from there. So, but that's an interesting place. Went there many, many times as a kid. They always had um, a festival each year, and they would do a Civil War reenactment there. And I always thought that was interesting as a kid. So, pretty neat place. Now, talking about being here in Ringgold and Chickamauga, and we'll go ahead and call it Chattanooga too, because it's kind of all the same here. I've not been to all of these yet, but these are definitely on the bucket list for very, very soon. There's a lot of places around here. Of course, the Chickamauga battlefield we were just talking about. This is, of course, more Civil War stuff, all sorts of Civil War history around here. Uh, but the, I don't know. I've got all these websites pulled up, and again, working off of one monitor for this is not very cool. I forget the name of the museum we were just talking about that's over in it's not in Chickamauga, it's actually in Fort Oglethorpe, which is right next to here. Um, but I may have that website pulled up too. It's not open, so I went over there to go in, but they've got it closed. But lots of stuff around here now. If any of you were at the IPMS Nationals, yeah, the Sixth Cavalry Museum is in Fort Oglethorpe, and that's a really cool a cool place. And they don't have a site because I guess they're closed down at the moment. But it's really neat because that cavalry they've actually still got. I think one, maybe two, but they've at least got one of the original horse stables over there that's being used as I don't know what they use it for, but anyway, all that is still there. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. But if any of you were at the 2019 IPMS Nationals that were hosted here in Chattanooga, they had. I never get to do any of the tours and things because, of course, we're vending the whole week. But if you were able to do any of the tours around, they had tours to a lot of these battlefields and museums and stuff. So perhaps some of you got to see some of this stuff around here that year if you were there at the show. Now, headed back down to South Georgia, this is a cool place over in Columbus. And this is the National Infantry Museum. They uh, they have this down there, and they've also got, and I'll show you it in a minute. They've got a Civil War Navy museum down there as well. But very neat, very nice place. Very well done, as you can see from these images and video that they're showing. It's just a really, really well done museum for sure. So if you ever get down around Columbus, well worth the trip. Let's see. And okay, and this is cool because it's different than different than your normal place. It's a Civil War Naval Museum, and I've been here once. It's really neat. So they actually have. Let's see if I can get it pulled up here. Okay, yep, there it is. So this is what's left. Let's see. Yeah, there it is, the Jackson. See the old picture there. So CSS Jackson. This is what's you can see the picture in the background. That's what's left of the Jackson. The frame on the top, they recreated uh, what was gone. So when you walk in, you can kind of get a feel for the entire size of the boat and see what it was going to look like. But the interesting thing for me about when I went to this museum is my grandpa. He's gone now, but when he was a young boy, they are from Columbus. He grew up there. And when I was a kid, he used to tell us a story about when he was a kid. I guess this would have been, I don't know, back in the 40s, I guess. They used to play out in the river. This is back before all the big roads and everything. But they used to go down and play in the river, and he would tell me they would go over there and they would be playing on the Jackson. And they knew it was there. It was just wrecked over there on the side, and you could go over to it and you could see it. And he told us all about it. And I thought that was the coolest thing. And then, of course, many years later, they pulled it out, and there's a whole story of them doing that here on their website. Um, but they got that done. Let's see, uh, almost 100 years later. So I guess around 1965 or so, they pulled it out, um, and of course they built this museum around it. But it was really neat to me just hearing him tell that story of seeing this as a kid there on the island in the river. So, and there it is. You can go see it. But they got a lot of cool stuff there, and it's really interesting because usually when you, or at least for me, when you hear of a Civil War museum, you're not thinking Navy, you're not thinking boats and ships and things, but that's what this museum is kind of built around. So, just really neat place to go if you're ever down that way. Check it out. It's worth the visit for sure. All right, now going back up to let's see. Man, this keyboard's loud. All right, headed back up North Georgia, up in the mountains. Now, this is one that I have not been to yet, but I want to go check it out. Dad's been over there. He told me about it. He said it's pretty cool. Now, if you watched the Band of the Brothers uh, show, then you may be familiar with this. But this is Camp Toccoa at the Currahee Mountain. And if you remember the story, if you know the Band of Brothers show, they're running up the mountain. That this is the mountain. It's obviously it was a real place, and it's right up in Toccoa, Georgia, and you can go there. They've actually got a museum there, and they've got one of the C-47s there. Let's see, they might have it on their website here. Yeah, there it is. Uh, where'd it go? There we go. Yeah, so they've got this there that they are working on getting restored, just for display purposes, I'm pretty sure. But that's there. You can check it out. And I think Dad went over there. I think he was going somewhere with my sister, and she had to go somewhere for the day. He dropped her off and found out that this was over there and went and checked it out. So, I mean, if you're in the area, it's worth the trip if you're going to be up that way anyway. It's just one of those kind of cool things that if you if you happen to come across it, it's cool because he didn't know it was there and he thought it was pretty interesting. So, but that's up there. And let's see, let's scoot down to, I think this is in Marietta, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, yeah, and that the Band of Brothers tie-in kind of made that place over in Toccoa a little bit more well known. Let's see. Oh no, this isn't the, yeah, yeah, this is the Marietta one. We'll do this one first. This is, and I've driven past here, but I've actually not gone here yet. I need to go look at this. This is the Aviation History and Technology Center, and I'm pretty sure it's in Marietta. Yeah, Marietta. Um, when you get down around Marietta, there's like five towns all around there, and but this one is technically in Marietta. But this is I've heard a lot about this place. You got a lot of buddies that go there and have seen it and say that it's definitely worth going and checking out. They got a lot of good stuff there. I've not been there yet. Perhaps you have, but not too hard to get to. If you're coming up through Atlanta or coming down this way, it's right there. But they got some neat things, and I need to just get over there and check it out sometime. But that is in Marietta. Let's see. Yeah, here's they got a list of their aircraft. Oh, that's the page I'm on. Okay. So they got some cool stuff to see there. Yeah, these little Firebees, that's cool. ICM's got a new set of Firebees coming out that we're supposed to have in a week or two. Same thing as soon as the address gets confirmed. All right, now this one is back down in South Georgia, near where I'm from. So I talked about getting off of the interstate in Perry, Georgia, to go over to Andersonville. So if you're headed to Perry to go there, about 10 or 20 miles before you get to Perry, heading south, you're going to go through Warner Robins, and they've got a really cool museum there. This is the Museum of Aviation, and the cool thing about this museum is not only is it a museum, but the local IPMS club down that way, this is where they host, I assume, I hope they still do, they host their IPMS contest each year. The show is held here at the museum, and if that has stopped, I apologize. That's where they had it last I knew. But this is a cool place, and one of the cool things that I like here, let me see if they've got a picture of it. Huh, no, I don't see. They've got an F-16 there. That's well, you can kind of see it in the background. It's painted up as the Thunderbirds. It's a cool. I think it's an A. But they got a lot of good stuff here. I don't know why they don't have pictures. Let's see. Give me a second. Dad's over here sending me messages trying to tell me where it's at. He says go to the map. All right, I don't see the map. Let's see. I'm just not seeing it. You guys are probably yelling at me. It's right there. Aircraft exhibits. Here we go. All right. Yeah, so got a lot of cool stuff here. This one is inside. I mean, they got some stuff outside too, but they got an inside place, and surely they've got their F-16 on here, unless I'm just making it up and they don't even have it. They used to. There it is. All right, yeah, there we go. So this one kind of this plane here. Uh-oh, it says my screen is frozen. All right, hold on. There we go. All right, so sorry guys. I'll get a better monitor soon. Um, So this F-16, this is actually what inspired the front cover of our new F-16 in action book. Seeing that there, I just think it's really cool. It's a cool paint scheme. So that's like I said, what kind of got us to do that. But they got a lot of cool stuff there. It's a really well done museum. Like I said, it's a lot of stuff inside. And they got some really neat stuff there. New stuff, old stuff. Uh, Here's their P-51. So it's a really cool place, and it's right off of 75, I-75 in Warner Robins, just south of Macon. So really cool place, well worth the visit. If you're headed to Florida for vacation, make sure to stop by there, check and see if they're open when you're going through. But definitely check that out. All right, now let's see the last one that I've got saved and pulled up here, unless I get another one. See. Oh, no. Here we go. We'll go talk about that one that one of you guys mentioned in Dawsonville. So this is not military, but this is Bill Elliott's. Well, I guess it's Bill Elliott's. That's his town. This is his Hall of Fame, NASCAR racing, that kind of stuff. So they are currently undergoing renovations. All right. Well, let's see. But this is a cool place. This is right over in Dawsonville. I've driven past here thousands of times, but it's really neat. And when you go through, depending on how you get there, when you pull into town, all of not all, but a lot of Bill Elliott's old race cars, these kind, they're sitting around town. So they've got a roundabout in the downtown area, and you drive around there, and there's a race car here and a race car there, and then of course right outside of the downtown areas where this Hall of Fame building is. But it's pretty cool. It's worth the trip for sure if you're up this way. Let's see. Got a little video or something maybe?
Number one, indicated facts and exhibit.
Oh, those are just audios to listen to. Okay. Well, anyway, you get the idea. It's all about racing and Dawson. What do they say? Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. It's all about Bill Elliott there in Dawsonville. But it's a cool place if you're into cars, especially racing. It's worth the visit. So then, if you are up that way or up this way, then you this one's really odd, and this one's actually up in Blue Ridge, which is where we were. Um, right, Blue Ridge is right next to LJ, and this is a little bit different. This is called Tanktown, USA, and this is not really a museum, but you actually get to go and drive there. It's always been funny to me. They say drive tanks. I don't know if they actually have a real tank. Most of their stuff is, I mean, it's tracked vehicles. They're very cool. But they got all sorts of things that you can drive. This little, whatever that is, APC or whatever, is the main thing that you see driving. But they will like junk cars. They'll buy junk cars from people, and they got a big old stack of cars out there. But that's what they do. They buy old junker cars, and people get to come and drive the tanks or whatever they have, and crush cars. So that's kind of their thing. It's pretty neat. It's definitely a different a different type of thing. Let's see if they got a video here. Let's see. Crush-a-rama. Uh-oh. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but here we go. Yeah, this is Tanktown, USA, in Blue Ridge, Georgia. So if you go out there, I guess you gonna crush a car. maybe. Yeah, there we go. So there you go. If you ever wanted to drive something with a track and run over a car, you can do it in Blue Ridge. So there you go. That's what I've got. So I'm going to jump over here. I have not looked at it with only one monitor. I can't look at the chats while I'm showing the other screens. So let me see what you guys have been saying. That's all that I know about in Georgia. I think. Did you send me another one? Oh yeah, here's one. Okay, never mind. I do have another one that just he just sent me. All right, so here's Fort Pulaski. Let's see. Yeah, you get. Yeah, this is over in Savannah, I believe. So yeah, this is. They don't have much information on here, do they? There we go. There's some pictures of it. So this is. I think this is a national park, if I'm not mistaken. But they do. They do a lot of cool stuff over there. I know that I've been there when I was a kid, but I don't hardly even remember it. They got the lighthouse over there. That's cool. But yeah, Savannah over there where our containers come in. I don't get over there very often. I used to get over there more. I got some family that lives over that way, but all right. Let's see what you guys have been talking about for a few minutes here. Yeah, the 8th Air Force Museum is in Savannah too. Let's see. Scott. Let's see the Columbus. Yeah, for a live fire demo. That's cool. In a December model show. Yeah, it's really cool when you can do model shows at these museums. I remember I know they don't do it anymore, but one of my favorite shows that I used to go to years ago was the IPMS show that was hosted at the Alabama Battleship. That was really cool. Um, I know that every model show doesn't have a big museum like that in their backyard, but or every model club, I mean. But the ones that are able to do their shows at a museum like that, it's really neat. Let's see, Ken. Yeah, AK Interactive probably does have a set like that. I know they got a lot of sets, and I know that Vallejo's got a lot of sets. I'm just gonna have to make sure that we've got good stock on all those sets that would be good for the B-17 because we're gonna be going through them. Vaughn says, "Don't waste your money on the Revell paints." Well, I'm assuming that means you have tried them. So I've not tried them. I've just heard. I've heard good things. I've now heard bad things. So Scott says also down the road on Victory Drive. So I guess we're talking about Columbus again, the Civil War. Oh, the Naval Museum. Yeah, that's a really cool place for sure. Ken says the New Jersey just came out of dry dock a little bit further north of Georgia. Yeah, I saw some pictures of that. That was really cool. I would have, man, it would have been awesome to be able to go and see that in person. Uh, it's not every day that ship or one like it comes out of the water, but glad that they got that thing fixed up. Let's see, Jason, a Spitfire crash. Yeah, I saw that a few months ago. I did not see that Sentimental Journey had a ground collision this weekend. That's not cool. I know that that plane's out on a tour right now. Huh, I'll have to look that up and see what happened. That's not cool. Ed says, I need to go on a cruise out of Galveston. All right. Yeah, is the Texas I'm assuming you're saying wait till after 25 because the answer to this question is no, but is the Texas in its final wherever it's going to be yet? Um, I know I've seen some pictures and man, it looks awesome and I can't wait to see it. But let's see. My screen is locking up. All right. David, am I going to be selling any Verlinden items? Not right now. They are not available at the moment. They got bought up by a guy out in Texas, and I don't know what's happening with them. So if they ever become available and they become available to me, they had some good stuff. We'd consider carrying them for sure. But uh, let's see. Yeah, Barry says the Flight 19 Museum in Fort Lauderdale. We'll do another show one night. I'll you guys send me all the museums you know about in Florida, and we'll do that because there's a lot of good stuff down there. Miami says the Kennesaw battlefield. Yes, I know what you mean. It's not really a museum. That's kind of like the Chickamauga battlefield. It's not really a museum, but it's still a historic site, I guess we'll call it. So yeah, the Kennesaw's got some cool stuff. And actually Kennesaw's got they do have a museum down there that's got the locomotive in it. Um, oh man, is it the general or let's see. I am having a brain fart. The Southern Museum of Civil War Locomotive History. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, this is a cool place. I forgot about this. Show this to you real quick. Yep. That's where that's at down in Kennesaw. So, yeah, that's I forgot about that museum. So that's the Southern Museum of Civil War and Locomotive History. So that's a cool place too. Hmm. All right. Well, let me I hate that I'm skipping so many chats, but I got one more thing we'll talk about before we wrap this up this evening. All right. Again, sorry that I'm going to skip a lot of these chats tonight, but I got one more thing we're going to talk about tonight. And I'm going to bring on a buddy of mine that you guys have seen a few times. This is Jeff Hearn, Mr. IPLS 2024.
Well, hey, how's it going,
I'm
Mister
good, buddy.
Mister? Put me in a straitjacket and send me off to some island somewhere.
Yeah, well, so we got what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, somewhere like that before the big show this year.
27 days, baby.
Well,
27 days.
I am very excited, and apparently there's at least 1,000 other people that are pretty excited. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
we are. I'm not one for, and I apologize for my background, but if y'all saw my shop, how messy it was, nobody would come to Madison.
Yeah, well, if it makes you feel better, I can do
Yeah.
that too.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm prepping for Nat, so I've got boxes of stuff everywhere.
There you go.
And all the IPMS awards are actually like 3 feet behind me there, so I don't wanna give away any trade secrets.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, we've got, 27 days. We have, as of right now, 1,080 something registrants,
Okay.
which puts us just with pre-registration alone, I think it puts us as the second largest Nats, behind Atlanta. So we're chasing Atlanta right now.
Okay.
Um
And hold on, Jeff. Let me say this in case some of you don't know. Jeff is the chairman. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm the convention
He
chairman.
is the chairman that is putting on the 2024 IPMS National Convention in Madison, Wisconsin this year. So
Correct.
his IPMS club, they are the host chapter,
Yep.
and he's kind of the guy in charge. So yeah,
IPMS Mad City Modelers
okay,
out of
there you go. So
Madison. Yep.
okay, so yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, excuse me. We've got 1,080 or so. Pre-registration is open until July 1st. So we're anticipating, another 150 pre-registers. We have no idea what the walk-in registration is going to be. Typically, the Nationals historically averages between 2 and 300 folks that actually show up and register for the convention on the day of.
Okay,
And if we hold true to all those historical trends, then we'll be the largest Nats of all time.
okay,
Not that those records mean anything. And I had this conversation earlier with a friend of mine. Um, we've always said we don't care if we're the biggest. We don't care, how much money we make as long as we're not in the red.
right.
Obviously, our goal is for everyone to come to Madison and when they leave when they stagger out of the hotel on Sunday morning, I want people to say, "Wow, that was an
Yeah.
amazing experience," and that's what we're doing.
Well, you know
Um,
what's really cool about it, though. Chattanooga was huge in 2019,
yeah,
and then of course we had a couple of hiccup years.
yeah,
But then the show this past year, it was huge.
yep,
Um, so regardless of who's got the biggest show, what's interesting to me is that each year recently is really big, whether it's
yeah,
getting bigger and bigger. So that what that means to me is model building and specifically IPMS, we're doing good.
yeah. There's a term that they use in the political world called pundits, and the pundits are people that go out there and they give you their opinion, and we have been taking their opinion as fact for so many years. The pundits forever have been saying this hobby is dying.
Right.
The hobby is dying. The pundits are out there saying the hobby's dying. The hobby's not dying. It is. It's evolving. It's changing. There's a new dynamic that we as hobbyists kind of need to address. That I think is another topic for another whole
Yeah. Oh,
discussion
sure.
at a later time. But the simple fact that we did a modicum of marketing for Madison. Um, we have our Facebook group, social media, but the Nationals is not on Twitter or Instagram we've got a Facebook presence.
Right.
Um, we've got our website, and we're looking at record numbers that are going to be coming to this.
Well, that's
Now,
going to be great.
and I can promise you it's not because of me. I mean, I think I'm scaring more people away than would probably attend. I have that, I have that effect on people. But the truth of the matter is that, and I think the timing is opportunistic as well because of us rolling out of the post-COVID era. When we went into the COVID era, people were sequestered at home. They couldn't go out. They couldn't go to dinner. They had disposable income because they couldn't spend their money anywhere. So a lot of them got back into the hobby.
Right.
I've been getting a lot of correspondence from people who are asking questions about the nationals. They've never been to a nationals because they've just recently got back into the
Right.
hobby. Um, so we have that on our side as well. And I don't want to say I feel bad, but it was a victim of timing. The San Marcos, I think, was the one that kind of it plateaued. The guys out in Vegas, they had a killer show, but they were suffering from, that immediate post-COVID anxiety. People didn't want to go out because it was
Right.
still out there, and I'm not going to run the risk of getting everybody sick and rah rah rah. And and I go to San Marcos and I get COVID. I mean,
Yeah.
it's something that we're going to have to, kind of keep on our radar. But this facility, the team, I cannot stress how wonderful the Mad City team, the Madison team has been in putting this project together. Um, they make me look good, you
Right.
know. And
Well,
I'm the point guy. I'm out there, flapping my gums and running my mouth and being the cheerleader and you know, it looks like I'm making, mission critical decisions and being all no, because
yeah,
there's 5 meetings that I had before I was allowed to say this is what we're going to
there
do.
you go. Well, so let me ask you this. So tonight, I don't know if you caught any of the show before you got on here, but we've been talking about museums.
Mm,
And specifically tonight, we've been talking about Georgia because that's where I am, and this is the
yep.
first time we've done this. But for me, I enjoy going to museums that I didn't know about when I go out of town. So tell us, what do you know anything about any of the tours, or is there anything that if we're coming to nationals in Madison, what do we need to make sure and see when we're there? What is part of the convention tours? Give us an idea of what's up there.
We have, with regards to the convention tours, we've kind of been a victim of our own success.
Okay.
We have so much going on that I think people are reluctant to leave the building.
Okay.
So we've actually canceled some tours because we didn't have enough numbers.
Well.
So we went from 4 down to 2.
Okay.
So the main tour that we're doing is to the EAA Museum at Oshkosh.
Okay.
Anyone who has ever been to AirVenture or has ever been to Oshkosh, I mean, it is one of the premier aviation museums in the world. Um, we have a tour there that's scheduled for Thursday. We still have a few spots opened up if people want to go. It includes dinner and transportation, and it's a full gamut. And then we decided to do something for the wives, the spouses, the significant others. Um, so we ran a tour to a local winery, Wallersheim Winery, and that happens on Friday during the day.
Okay.
So if you come to the Nats with your wife and she's giving you a hard time, you put her on the winery bus, you send her up to the winery, she drinks and tastes wine all day, she gets fed, she comes home, and life
And
is
she
good.
doesn't know how much money you spent at Squadron.
Exactly. There you go.
Well, that's cool. Now, the Oshkosh thing,
Yeah.
you also get the benefit of their big air show happening the very next week.
The very next week. In fact, the IPMS Nationals end on Saturday night. Sunday is a day of R&R, and then Monday you could head right up to EAA, and the convention actually, I think it officially opens on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. But everything that's significant that's going to be there will be there already on Monday. So plan a couple extra days, take a road trip up to Oshkosh and enjoy AirVenture.
And
You know,
I gotta imagine that Thursday when you do the convention tour, there's probably gonna be some stuff there already that's
yeah,
not normally there.
yeah. There's some gonna. I've pulled a few strings, not really, but the staff there, they're friends of mine, and that's actually true. Chris Henry is the museum director there. He's also doing some seminars at IPMS Nationals as a presenter.
Okay.
But their B-17 has been grounded. There were ADs out on the wing spars of all the B-17s, so they're in the process of doing a wing spar rebuild on the aircraft. So subsequently, she's not able to be flying. They've towed it over to the museum. So anyone that goes to the museum and does the museum tour, um, the B-17 will be parked right outside the museum hangar. So
Oh, cool.
people will have the ability to walk around the B-17 and get up close and personal with her.
Well, that'll be
But
good.
yeah, there's going to be all kinds of aircraft. I'm hearing rumors that there are not one but two B-29s that are going to be there this year.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw that.
Doc and Fifi, which is a rarity. I mean, they've been cooperating and operating together because just seeing one of them in the air is amazing, but to see them both fly in formation is just
Yeah, those are the
that's
only 2 that still fly, aren't they?
correct.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll
Correct.
be awesome to see them fly together.
Yeah, that's really something to see. There's just so many things that are going on. We have 60 seminars right now.
60?
60, and I think there may be even more.
How do you do 60 seminars in 4 days?
In 4 different rooms, and you block them out an
Back to back to
hour,
back?
back to back to back.
Okay.
Now
Wow.
what we've done, and of course, it's inevitable with that many seminars, you're gonna get some overlap, but what we've tried to do is we've tried to have everything be offset. So we would run, say, an aircraft seminar with an armor seminar with a car seminar in
Okay.
one block. So if you're a car modeler, you're far more likely to go to the car seminar, and you're not worried about the
I
aircraft
got
and the
you.
armor. So we've staggered them to try to
I got
allow
you.
people to, you
So
know,
you've gotta pick and choose. You can't see all of them, but there's plenty
no,
to choose from.
no. I mean, 60
Okay.
seminars. I mean, you'd have to be there, you know, 8
Sleep
days.
there and stay there. Okay.
We have a couple that are really special, which is kind of cool. Um, the charity for IPMS Nats is an organization called Help Heal Vets, and the CEO of the charity is coming out, and he's doing a roundtable discussion with a group of combat veterans to discuss how the hobby has benefited them with PTSD and dealing with their demons. And then he's doing a second presentation that highlights what his organization is doing. And model building is just one aspect. I mean, they provide hobby supplies for woodworking and leatherworking and art and paint and drawing, and they run the full gamut of hobby supplies, helping vets who are suffering with PTSD. So helphealvets.org is their URL. We're doing a Gold Star Mother quilt auction. Um, so we'll be auctioning off a quilt, and all of the proceeds for that will be going to the charity as well. Um, so that's the stuff I like talking about.
Okay.
The stuff where we're making a difference. Where we're actually helping people and getting some exposure to, you know, through the hobby. Things of that nature. There's just so much going on.
Right.
We got 400 vendor tables, and I
Yeah.
think you bought 380 of them. So,
Oh, man.
and of course, I don't know if you've told anyone, but Squadron is the proud sponsor of the IPMS Nationals contest room.
That's right. I have not told that here on this show yet,
Well,
so
there's
that
a scoop.
there you go. Yeah, go
There's the
to the,
scoop.
yeah, we are the official sponsor for the contest this year. But now let me say this. If you've been to a nationals, you're familiar with the contest, you're familiar with the vendor room, but you've got a third big chunk of the pie this year that's not generally a normal part of the show. Uh, Tell us a little bit about that, the display only contest,
The tiger meat. Yeah,
tiger meat.
it's always been a very minor element at national conventions, and it's mostly because we've never had the space. The venues that we try to nail down, we can't rent out a football stadium, to have a model contest as much as we'd like to. So we're always limited on space, and we try to find the the minimum requirements that we have to have in order to make a convention successful. Chattanooga was the first nationals that really kind of broke that mold with having a large dedicated space for display only non-competition models. And it was very well received. So that fell on one of the larger discussions that was going around on the websites, forums, and social media about how we have placed so much impetus on the contest itself, and that other things have kind of gotten neglected. So when I had the opportunity to actually put this together, I said I got to have display space. So we branded it as the Tiger Meat, um, after the Air Force competition, the NATO competition. I'm sorry. So it's called Tiger Meat, and it's a display only, non-competition area. It's set aside for those individuals who don't care if their model wins an award. They're not. That's not why they're there. Group builds. We got a lot of really cool group builds. and special interest groups within IPMS. One of the things that I have done this year that no other nationals has done is that you can come to the IPMS nationals as a non-IPMS member and you can participate. You can put your models on the table and you can be a part of this convention without being an IPMS member.
In the tiger meat only?
In the tiger meat
Okay.
only.
Yep.
So I looked at it from, I've kind of looked at all of the years that we've been doing this, and historically the national convention has always been for IPMS members. If you wanted to go and participate, you had to be a member of the society. We had general public, general admission, where you can walk in and go through the vendor room and look at the models on the table, and that's great if you're a spectator. But anyone who's been in this hobby knows you don't like being on the other side of the table. You know, you don't want to be a spectator. You're going there because you're passionate about the hobby. You want to be immersed in it. You want to be involved. You want to be behind the table, not in front of it. So I looked at it from a marketing standpoint and I said, you know, what does it cost us? It doesn't cost us anything. Let's get these folks in the door. Let's allow them to put their work on the table. Let's allow them to interact with our members and other convention goers. Let's, you know, let them see that we're not a bunch of grumpy old men who only build 48 scale airplanes. You know, let's embrace some of the other, oh, I don't care about rattling cages. That's I've been doing that for for the last 2 years. But let's start breaking some of these stereotypes and perceptions that people have about the society, that, you know, we only build 48 scale planes and everything else is trash. No, nothing's further from the truth. So we've got a Warhammer 40K group build. Now we're not playing Warhammer games, but you know, the
You
figure
don't
painters,
think they're going to play Warhammer.
well, hey, what goes on in the hotel after the show is over
Uh.
is none of my concern. But you know, some of these figure painters, we've got a Gundam display. Some of the most amazing modelers are not IPMS members.
Right.
So what a better way to kind of bridge that gap and extend a hand, if you would, allow these folks to come in, allow them to put their stuff on the table, um, and allow them to be a part of the community for a day. And then if they really like what they see, maybe they'll join us.
Right.
And then, then they become part of the family.
If you
So,
put it together and paint it, it's a model in my book.
and I've been saying that for a very, very long time. It doesn't matter what we build. The end of the day, when you break it down to its most common denominator, as you just said, we all break plastic parts off and we all glue them together and we sand them and we paint them just like everybody else. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's a car or a Gundam or a battleship or the old MPC model of that Civil War locomotive, the General.
Yeah.
I had that kit. I was real. I was off stage when you were talking about it. I'm going, General, it's the General.
Oh yeah.
The great locomotive chase.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, and I've really kind of gone off on a tangent about that. I apologize, but the EAA Museum in Madison, or in Oshkosh, is part of the Madison Nationals tour. There are other amazing museums in Madison. The Wisconsin Veterans Museum is literally within walking distance from the convention.
Oh wow.
The USS Cobia, which is a World War II era Manitowoc-built Gato-class submarine, still in her World War II configuration. She's up in Manitowoc with the Wisconsin Maritime Museum, which is it's a smaller facility, but God, it's an amazing venue. They've got so much historic stuff.
Huh.
And if you're an automotive guy and you're driving up to the Nationals, the Volo Auto Museum right on the Wisconsin-Illinois border, VOLO, is absolutely one of the best automotive museums in the country.
Okay.
You know, and it's a hidden secret. You know, it's like nobody knows it's there. Hell, I lived in the state for 10 years before I knew it was there.
Oh wow.
But they have all of the original. You remember the Revell? I think it was Revell. Maybe it was. But they did like the Red Baron and all of those. What is it, Barris? all of the Barris cars, all those
Yeah.
really wild they have most of those original cars
Oh,
that
wow.
the model kits were based off.
Huh.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, the Frankenstein cars and the Dracula cars from the Munsters, and they've
Wow,
got
and
one
they're
of
all
Elvis.
there.
They're all there. They've got one
That's
of
cool.
Elvis's Cadillacs, and they
Huh.
got one of the original Speed Racers that they did for the promo, because that was animated, obviously. But
Right.
you know, all of these really, and you walk around and it's just it's amazing, because it gives you flashbacks to when you were a kid, because you're seeing a car that you haven't seen in, well, in my case, 50 years. A little less for you.
We got a question here from 411. So tell us, when is this big show? We'll wrap this up, but tell us everything we need to know before we get off of here. How do we get there, and when is it?
July 17 to 20, Madison, Wisconsin, at the Monona Terrace Convention Center. And the website is nats2024.com.
Let's see. I'm going to get that pulled up here real quick. That's the wrong button. Let's see. That's 2024.com.
There it is.
Yep, there it is. So all the information you need. Oh, look, there we are.
Hey, there you go, right there.
Proud sponsor. This has got everything that you need to know about the show. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Yeah. July 17th through the 20th.
And we are, if you scroll down a little further, you'll actually see the facility. It is it's a Frank Lloyd Wright building, and it is an absolutely gorgeous facility.
Looking for it. Hotels, maybe? No?
Oh, well, there's Capitol Square. There's all your hotel information. Hotels are getting sold out pretty quick.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this too. As far as the hotels, if you can't find a hotel right there, we're actually staying about 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
So if you need to stay right there, hopefully you can find somewhere. But if not, if you look about 10 minutes outside of town, we found a lot of good choices there, and didn't have any trouble getting a place. So,
And this is
hopefully
also the first time that we're doing an online model registration.
oh
So
yeah,
the old days of filling out, downloading the forms and filling them out with your crayons and your bad handwriting, that's all over.
okay,
In addition to actually running and putting the convention together, the Madison team has actually built a registration software package
awesome.
to allow all of this to happen online. And of course, you can do that while you're there. You don't need to register your models if you're coming as a walk-in for the Tiger Meet, but I would suggest reading the Tiger Meet rules.
Yep, and that's listed here.
Yep. Non-IPMS members are allowed to bring 2 models in. You still have to pay your day pass walk-in fee, which is $20.
Okay.
25 for the for families. Those are all the scheduled group builds and SIGs that are going to be there. I mean, we got a lot
Now,
going on.
you say a non-IPMS member can bring 2 models for the Tiger Meet. What about an IPMS member?
As many as you like.
Heck yeah. I might bring all my stuff that I knew wasn't good enough for the contest and finally get to show it to somebody.
You know what though? But that's in essence, that's what the whole premise of the Tiger Meet is about.
Right.
You'll hear people screaming that, the same guys win every year, the same guys, take all the big awards home. Well, the truth of the matter is, no matter what you look at, the same guys hit the same number of record home runs every year in baseball. The same guys throw the same number of, throw record number of touchdowns or catch number,
Yeah, I mean, if you're one of the best, you're going to be one of the best
you're
next
going to be
year.
one of the best, and you go there and you compete. That's what that is for.
Right.
I think that we have overemphasized that a little bit, and the Tiger Meet, and I'm told that Virginia, Hampton Roads next year is going to continue with the tradition. We're hoping that it becomes a national tradition.
All right.
But this is where guys who are humble enough to say, look, I'm going to go to the Nats. I'm not going to bring anything because I know I'm not going to win.
Right.
Well, you know what? I want to see your model.
Yeah.
I don't care if you win at the Nationals or not.
Well, it's a good way to get better too, because if you show it and say, well, oh, it's not good. Okay, well, why do you not think it's good? Well, because I can't do this very good. And somebody might say, well, I'm actually really good at that. Let me give you my tip.
And
And yeah,
that's the whole reason behind it. That's the
yep,
whole premise of the Tiger Meet is to kinda to bring us together and get us talking about, I mean,
yeah, yeah. Share tips,
yeah,
give
that's what
ideas, and
we wanna
become better
emphasize the
modelers.
social we wanna emphasize the social aspect of the hobby in
Right.
addition to just the contest and the vendor room. Concert on the roof on Thursday night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, rooftop concert. We got socials going on. And of course, we're going to take over all the hotel bars, surrounding the facility. That all IPMS craziness.
Hey, and
Um,
one of my favorite things at Nationals happens Friday night, the judging.
are you
Right?
judging?
Oh yeah.
Well, have fun.
Hey, I know that you're not. You got plenty of other
No,
fires
and
pitch
I'll
in the
be
fire.
honest with you. As Nationals chairman, I don't want to do anything that could be construed as a conflict of interest.
Right. No, I
Um,
understand that.
And I don't even I'm not even entering my models, and I don't believe any of my team is either. I think the entire Madison team, we will be there in display only,
I
but
was
I
going to
don't
say you better be bringing them to Tiger Meet.
yeah, yeah, including that big old you'll see it. I got a 1/6 scale scratch built German half track,
Oh, cool.
and
That's
I'll be
huge.
you won't miss it. I mean, the
Yeah.
the damn thing's 3 foot long. But I'll be bringing that, but no one from the Madison team, to my knowledge, is competing.
Okay.
We're all in display only. I'm not going to be judging because I'm going to be involved with the registration software and be
Right.
kind of doing voter tallying and all of that stuff. So, you know, and
Yeah.
our system has become the new electronic system is all number based.
Yeah.
So we've effectively eliminated any possibility of impropriety because when I look at that model, it's a number. I don't know who it
It's not a
is.
name. Yeah,
There's
that's
no
cool.
name attached to it.
Nice.
And our numbers are trending that we're hoping to be somewhere around the neighborhood of 3,000 models.
Good. Well, I'm
So
excited. We'll see.
yeah,
We'll see how it goes.
it's going to be a wild time.
Well, good deal. Well, I'm going to wrap this up this evening, Jeff. So I'm going to go ahead and say bye to you and kick you off, and we'll be
Alrighty.
in touch soon. I'll call you soon, buddy. We'll catch up.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Nats2024.com. And I heard this rumor that if you go to the Nats and any of your listeners, if they go to the Nats and they buy a Squadron hat from you, that you'll autograph it for free.
I don't think anybody would want that, but I will have hats. I'll talk to you soon, Jeff, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Take
Yes,
care.
sir. Well, guys, there you have it. That's all you need to know about the Nationals this year. I'm excited about it. I hope you're going to be there. Looking forward to seeing you. We'll do this again next Wednesday night. I have no idea what's going to happen between now and then, but I know there's going to be a lot less stuff in LJ and a lot more stuff in Ringgold by this time next Wednesday night. So, yeah, I'll keep you up to date as things happen, and we're sure excited about it. Looking forward to getting set up here and getting this place opened up and having our first open house, so all of you can come by and check it out. It's going to be awesome, and we're excited about it. So y'all take it easy. I'll see you next Wednesday. Y'all have a good evening.